Good morning and welcome to the Endless Entrepreneurs YouTube channel. My name is Luke Henson. I am a eBay seller, a real estate investor, and I also do contract finance work in the corporate world. Happy 4th of July. It is almost 8 a.m. Up bright and early, actually getting ready to go do a CrossFit workout here in about an hour. But I wanted to jump on and do a quick sales update video. I haven't done a video in a little while. I was just getting back into it, and to be honest, and people are probably going to hate me because of the summer right now and being summer slowdown, but business has been really good and booming and growing fast, and I've just been trying to keep up, so videos have fallen off a little bit, but trying to get back and get some content out there for you guys. Per the topic of the video, if you notice, is what is summer slowdown, and I've been watching a lot of other reseller videos. And the running joke is that you can't really share if your business is doing well in the summer because someone's going to want to beat you up, because summer slowdown is a real thing, especially for apparel sellers, clothing sellers specifically in reselling. It can be a real thing. But I'm going to explain why it hasn't been as much of a slowdown for me. It'll make more sense as I go through it, and you won't feel as bad. But I wanted to jump on here and get this in. It'll probably be like a 20-minute video. It is live, so I will answer some questions along the way. If you're watching this for a second time or when it's not live, that's why I'm interacting with the chat. So hi everyone. See people starting to filter in here. So I am going to, I'm going to jump right into my sales. I'm going to talk about them. I'm going to share 10 items that sold on eBay, and then I'm going to go through some items that have sold on Poshmark for me. This is really the first month that I've been I would say seriously ramping up Poshmark. Like a couple months ago, I got my account up to, maybe 2 months ago, I would say, maybe two and a half. I got my account up to Poshmark Ambassador. Did that by myself, just kind of cross-posting from eBay, sharing, doing that whole thing. And this last month, I figured out using a virtual assistant how to start cross-listing faster, sharing faster, and getting my closet going. So like the last 2 weeks of June, I had like probably $250 in sales, maybe 275, something like that. Not huge numbers, but I mean, for just putting the effort in, it's starting to scale up a little bit, which is nice. Hopefully that'll keep scaling. So I will jump right in here and share my screen. All right, so let's start with eBay. All right, so as you can see, I filtered June 1st through June 30th, one less day than May. Comparing month over month for a 30-day period, I was up about 10%, 9.5%. But I'm up, I would consider it flat. I think for May, I was like, actually, let's look at what May was. Hold on. Hopefully this doesn't log me out as I do this. Nope, it doesn't. May 1st. Just so you can see. So May I finished actually 57.38. So one last day in June. In June I was almost, I was over $300 more in sales. So pretty interesting when you think about that. That should automatically reset there. Oops. All right, got back to what we're looking at here. So as you can see, about $300 more than May. Now there's some really good rational reasons for it. Why I'm kind of able to fend off summer slowdown, so to speak. So I have been, I just got done pretty much listing an entire pallet, about 760 items of new attached clothing into my eBay store during the month of June. I mean, pretty much, I'd say about, I listed 580 items in June. So for perspective, I normally list on my own between 200 and 250. When I started to add contractors, like during February through April, just selling used stuff I was thrifting, I was listing about 350. And then in June, I bumped up to, like I said, almost touched 600 new active listings, which is a really big deal for momentum. I mean, I'm basically almost doubling, not doubling, I'm adding about 40% capacity to listing. And I'm listing new with tag stuff. The margins have been actually pretty much the same from a buying cost of goods, and pretty much my bulk buy is about $525 a unit. I usually pay about $450 a unit on average at thrift stores, so about 75 cents higher. My average sale price is still for this lot has been between like $26 and $27. The lower pieces are selling for like $20 ship. Some of the higher pieces are selling for like $40, $45 ship. So it's blending right nicely so far. I mean, short sample size, but it's blending, right down to that like high 20s, which is where I want to be. And then of course, have a whole new margin play with cost of having items prepped, which has been more of I'm basically paying $1.25 to have items photographed, and then I'm paying $1.25 to have them listed on eBay through my VA, and then an extra 75 cents to cross post to Poshmark. So all in, if the whole process is automated, it's costing me $3.25 to get the item up, which is where I'm taking the margin hit. However, I personally have not prepped a single item in the month of June besides doing some photos for my VA. So I'm not really handling the inventory that much, which is very, very nice. All right, so that's eBay sales, and I'm just going to check the chat here to make sure we're good. Yeah, someone's saying we were so slow for summer. Yeah, I'm sorry. But there is, like I said, there's good reason why I'm not dealing with summer slowdown. And, I'll stop and talk about that for a quick second. If you're, especially on eBay, and I'm speaking because I have contacts that have been selling on eBay for a long time and selling clothing on eBay for a long time. Poshmark, I'm not really sure how to speak to because I just started on the platform. But with eBay, apparel sales in general, the summer is slow. It's just not a hot time. In most stores, it's slow in general. On eBay, it's really slow. It's just the way it is. And what I always looked at the summer as was a great opportunity. I kind of reframed my mind to, instead of, oh man, it sucks, my eBay store's not doing well, to this is the perfect opportunity to stockpile inventory for Q4 when it ramps up. And I wouldn't even say Q4. I would say it starts, right after Labor Day, it starts to ramp up. Kind of, and that you get a little bit of back to school in August too. So I just always looked at it of, oh, awesome. My sell-through is not going to eat away at my inventory. I can actually grow my inventory because I can outlist my sell-through, which is it can be a great opportunity if you reframe your mind to that and really attack it that way as growing your business, because it will catch up and it will make up for itself. So that's just my thoughts there. I'm going to share now. Like I said, I picked 10 items. I tried to pick thrifted items just because I felt like most of you aren't buying in bulk. So I didn't want to show a lot of those items. I don't think it adds a lot of value to you as far as like what you should be picking to sell. But if there's a need and people want to see, I always can show some of those later on in a different video. But again, like I said, that I'm doing mostly Macy's shelf pull items, women's plus size clothing, and it's going well so far. But here are some Nike Golf Dry Fit. They're like these window pane check. They're black, and they were a size 40, which is a bigger size. And they sold for full price $24.99 plus $6.99 to ship, so about $32 all in. I was in these for $3.59. And again, I thrifted these, contractor listed them. So I had actually $250 in this model. I have two contractors who I started a while ago that they do the whole process for me. They do photos and listing. So it's $2.50 here, and the cost of goods is $3.59. And these, of course, ship first class. This line of Levi's just always sells well for me in women's jeans. It's the only line of women's Levi's I pick up. They just sell though. I mean, this Brighter On, I list them for about $22 to $23 plus $6.99 to ship, and they sell full price very, very steadily. I would say 100% sell through with this jean. It always sells for me. The 5, 2, 4, 2 super lows, especially the dark blue, and these. I don't know. It's just a popular style, but. In any case, these ones sold full price as well. I was in these for $4.99. Same economics of the listing, $250 to get it listed for me. Here is another favorite jean, not your daughter's jeans. And these are the Samantha Slim Fit, which I think is a popular line because these sold pretty quickly. You're going to see here shipping is only $4.99 on these, and these sold. They took a best offer of $27 plus $4.99 to ship. So I've been slowly kicking my shipping prices back to $4.99, and it's funny because I did a bunch of videos a while ago where I was getting a lot of feedback on my $6.99 was too pricey for shipping, and although I didn't agree with it for used items, now that I'm entering the new items market, especially from a bulk buying perspective, I'm competing with other buyers who are selling the same things as me in a bigger scale. So it's like one of the ways I can compete is having lower shipping costs. So I've just knocked down to a standard $4.99. A lot of the buyers or a lot of the other people selling the same stuff as me do free shipping, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm just not a big enough seller to have the economics of that where it matters to have top rated and all that other stuff. I'm just such a small fish compared to the big ones. It just doesn't make sense. So I'm kind of meeting in the middle, coming at $4.99, trying to compete a little better, and it's working. But I'm just doing flat $4.99 across my store, and just some of the items hadn't caught up to it yet. So we'll see how that goes. To me, it's kind of right in the middle. If I ship something flat rate, it's like $655, and if it's first class, it's like $480 and under. So I'm losing a little bit on some of the heavier items, but I can deal with that. More jeans, and these are Guess Slim Straight Del Mar fit men's jeans. This line I found within Guess, even though it's a newer line, it does seem to do pretty well. I took a best offer of $26 plus $6.99 to ship. They are black, and you can see right here I put inseam was shortened to 32. That's how I handle stuff like that, guys. I don't know how you guys do it on your end, but I find that putting it right here in the condition notes, the inseam was shortened. I make sure the size and the title matches that. And then, we have a picture of the tag, but right there, they're seeing it twice. So it's 32-inch inseam. So regardless, the tag shouldn't confuse them too much. And here's your label. I guess I can show you guys that. Sorry. And these pictures are actually a little foggy, believe it or not. But again, all these were listed by contractor, so $250 an item. Here is an ex officio. Still pick this brand up occasionally when I find the vintage shirts. And I am not going to stop thrifting altogether. Just because I think thrifting is fun, but probably it's going to be limited to probably only a couple times a month, 1 or 2, maybe 3 times a month when it's convenient, driving by a store, stopping in. Again, I still have a contractor who is what was my first one ever. And she's fantastic, and she likes to do the full process. And so I think I'm just going to thrift enough to keep her busy, and then the other people who are doing photos separately from the VA, I'm going to stick the new tag stuff because it's cleaner and easier. But there still is a lot of money to be made from thrift stores, and I enjoy the thrill of the hunt, so I don't want to cut that completely out just from a fulfillment perspective. But ex officio seems to do pretty well for me. I only get the stuff that's vented. You can see the shirt is vented in the back. It's a fishing shirt. Here's your brand tag. But I took the best offer of $18.99 plus $6.99 to ship. So this went for, right at $26 shipped. Let me check comments real quick, guys. And someone just asked, do I ship jeans in a padded flat rate, legal flat rate, or standard flat rate? I ship my jeans in a standard flat rate, $6.55 to ship with an eBay discount. It is the cardboard one. All right, let me grab a drink of water here, man. Early in the morning, gonna wake up. So I think I have one more big electronic. For a while, I had watched that a great video by Pete, Craigslist Hunter, about vintage electronics. Learned a lot about them through him, and I went through like 2 months of thrifting where I was picking up a lot of these. And to be honest, like they're selling really well. I think I picked up like 15 different types of items. Some of this total, I've sold 14 of the 15. And I'm in all of these for like this one. I was in for like $6.99. So $6.99 into $50 is great. But what happened was I accidentally changed the shipping to $4.99 here. When I changed it, I forgot to leave my electronic ones to a lighter ship or to the heavier shipping, because with these I was charging like $27, $28 a ship. So actually, this one sold for full price plus the $5 a ship. I think it ended up costing me about $17 a ship, so I lucked out there. But in general, I have one left. I'm not going to be selling any more electronics, and not because there's not great money made there. But what I found is now that I'm scaling on the back end, I'm shipping so many more items that I just don't have the time to bubble wrap, make custom boxes when necessary, make sure, like, it just takes so much extra time that as I grow and scale right now, I can't afford that time on the back end, since I'm fulfilling all of my orders still. And I don't really have a good way to subcontract out fulfillment of my orders. If I could figure that out, then it would be probably a little bit of a different game. But so either way, these are good to be on the lookout for, especially if you're just starting out or you're a smaller seller. I mean, these are great margin plays. I mean, you can find these, especially like estate sales and stuff, you can find these super cheap and they flip pretty high. But again, this was a Sony, let me see where it was. Sony CDP C260Z. It's just one of those CD changers you can see. It's a 5-disc CD changer. And these are really popular, especially in Sony. But just be on the lookout for these if it's something you're interested in doing. Shipping wise, you pretty much need to charge a lot for shipping. I mean, you should be charging about $2 a pound, and use the big bubble wrap Bubble wrap it really well. Make sure there's no open spots in the boxes. Use sealed air void if you can, or just stuff paper void. Make sure it's taped really well, the boxes. A lot of times you're gonna have to kind of custom box something just to make it fit, because these are odd dimensions occasionally, but definitely something worth looking into. Here is a blazer, and these I'm gonna miss. This is, I think, the reason why I want to keep thrifting is it's just nice to have these home run items in your inventory. This sold. I took a best offer of $49.99 plus $5 to ship. I was in this for $4.99, so that $5 and the $50 sell price is a really nice flip. It's a popular pattern, brown houndstooth with a window pane. You can see here. It's Brooks Brothers, which really helps. Let me see if I can show you the tag. Just the traditional logo too. Size 44 regular. I've had this up for a while. You can see the A2227. I actually listed this back when I lived at the townhouse. So this is at least a year old. They sit for a while. They are not fast sellers. They're long-term plays, long-tail plays. Inventory storage is not an issue for me. So like right now, I've got over 2,000 active listings. With all my multi-quantity, I've got well over 3,000 items. So it's just not an issue for me. So I like plays like this. I like long-tail play. Here's a Ryan Spooner shirt. These do really well. They can be a little slower sellers, really the right buyer looking for them. I had found like 12 of these on a rack about over a year ago, and they're still just selling off. This one sold for full price, $36.28 plus $6.99 to ship. This is the Melikaliki Maka. I probably botched that. Huge shirt. I found a bunch of Christmas themed ones. I sold like half of them last year during Christmas. I've got I think one or two more sitting there that hopefully will sell this Christmas. I know those prices a little higher, and I was in all these for $3.99, and so obviously decent economics there. All right, this was so Shannon, my wife, used to. Oh man, it's almost 2 years ago now. She got into selling eBay a little bit. She was selling some women's stuff, and then she stopped. Her career just took off in a really great way, and she just kind of threw herself into that and gave it up. So a lot of her inventory just sat in our attic for a long time. And when I started hiring contractors, I just was like, well, I'm gonna get all this stuff listed. So this is one of those items, like I didn't personally pay anything for it. She did. I'm guessing she paid probably $4.99 for this since it's a dress. But again, I took a best offer of $20 plus $4.98 to ship, so I got $25. It was $2.50 to get it listed. The brand's splendid. I honestly can't tell you if this is a good brand to buy or not. I've never picked it up, but it did sell. I do sell a lot more women's clothing now than I ever have before, so I'm getting a little more knowledgeable. But again, I'm not as familiar with this brand. And then this was a great flip. Found these BKE Tyler Fit jeans by Buckle. And they were they're a really dark blue with a little bit of fade in them. A great pattern on the back, as you can see. The men's BKE jeans, and here's the tags for you. They just sell so well. I took a best offer of $39.99 plus the $6.99 to ship. So got a $47 out of $4.99 here. Was just a great return on my investment. So I'll be on the lookout for the men's BKE jeans. In my opinion, they're home runs. They 100% sell through, and they do well. Even if they're a little chewed up and have some wear on, they will still sell. So let me check the chat real quick, and we'll pivot to Poshmark. Someone said, what do you make your custom boxes out of your VCRs? Pretty much whatever around the house. I had a bunch of moving boxes from our last move, so I still work through those. Pretty much cut those out and Frankenstein them where I need to make them fit. But again, it's just not worth my time to continue with those type of items, but I think they're definitely super, super profitable for people to be buying and selling. And as time goes on, they get more rare. It's going to be even more profitable, those type of items. So let me flip to Poshmark here, and I'm still getting familiar with the UI and kind of like what the best way to show stuff is, but I'm just going to scroll for a little bit and show you guys some of my sales. So this is a really old piece of inventory. I can tell from the background. It was my background from when I was at the townhouse, well over a year old. It's a cashmere sweater, Belk. Sold this for $20. And the interesting part is I'm still adjusting in my head, like Poshmark pays for the shipper, buyer pays for shipping. So it's just like I'm pretty much calculating in my head that I'm willing to take about $5 less as a sell price than I would on eBay, since on eBay I charge $5 a ship. So it's just, that's how I've been trying to work out the economics in my head. So sold, that was just a red cashmere sweater was in that for $3.99. These are some Polo Ralph Lauren, just Chino pants, just basic ones with a little Polo logo on the back, not the pony. Sold these for 17. These are Free People. They're like a cutoff capri, like chewed up cutoff capri. It sold for $34. Great find there. Found those in the Goodwill actually. And then here you can get a little peek at some of the items I've been selling in bulk. So these are I've been buying the bulk Macy's shelf pulls. These are women's plus size clothing. And you can see right here, $24, $24, $25, $30 for a dress here. So those have been like kind of like that median range that I've been selling a lot of my items for, which has been pretty solid. Here's a Brooks Brothers shirt for 15. Anthropology jeans for 37. This is a super old shirt, Alan Edmund shirt, sold for 14. It's nice to move that. Super old jeans I've had forever, Joe, sold for 25. Here's a Lucky Brand t-shirt for 23. So you see, Poshmark's been a really good platform for me to get rid of old inventory, which has been nice. And then basically the rhythm I've had is and hold on, let me stop sharing my screen here. That's pretty much. So the rhythm I've had is that my virtual assistant, first of all, she's fantastic. I can't say enough good about her. But as she's listing all the new items, she's also cross-posting them on Poshmark. But the rhythm that I'm doing is basically she's drafting listings in InkFrog. They go into what I call like my library. So they're not live, but they're fully drafted. They have everything that I would need. And then I just proofread them real quick and I add a price. And as soon as I add a price into them live, she goes back, she adds them to Poshmark. She puts a little P in the letter P in my custom SKU label. So I know that is on both platforms now. So when it sells, I know to take it down so I don't double sell it. That's been kind of my rhythm. It's been working really well. And I'm having to work backwards through my entire inventory in InkFrog, which is, it perfectly syncs with eBay. So she's been working her way through and cross-listing everything. I think I'm approaching 600 items on Poshmark. So I'm getting up there. She's done a tremendous amount of work this last month. I mean, she's cross-listed over 400 items this last month. So it's been pretty impressive. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. Again, with Poshmark sales and that, I was sitting around $6,400 in sales for June. I'm actually expecting to grow again here in July. I'm hopefully not jinxing myself, but I'll probably be listing even more items in July. I'll hopefully hit like that 750 mark. Plus Poshmark should be ramping up even more. So hopefully July will be an even bigger month, and we'll just keep scaling as I go. So I have another pallet that should be delivered early this next week. And hi Tanya, how you doing? My Poshmark closet is TNT or TN threads. So it's supposed to be kind of TNT threads, but it didn't. Someone else had taken it for some reason. So I had TN threads for top-notch threads. But yeah, I think that I have a pallet coming in. It's a slightly higher end pallet. I actually paid up to about $7.10 a unit shipped. It's about 600 units coming, I think, or 550. I can't remember. But it's a little higher end. A lot of like Free People and things like that. So we'll see how that does. And then I'm actually getting ready to pull the trigger, hopefully on 2 to 3 pallets that'll come the end of July. Probably trying to get like 1,500 to 2,000 units in to get ready for August for really big ramp up. And those are, I think I'm going to be experimenting a little more with Nordstrom shelf pulls, but just to kind of keep mixing. And I want to get a solid mix of men's and women's, so I'm not just only selling women's. But yeah, that's kind of what's on deck. Tom said, can you recommend ways to find an assistant? I don't know anybody personally that sells. Yeah, Tom. So I actually, if you don't follow me on Instagram, you should go follow me there. And the only reason I say that is I just made a post, probably like 3 or 4 posts back, of exactly what I actually post for help now. I have found that local Facebook market groups, like to your hometown, like how they're very specific to your township, they're out there everywhere. The little local selling groups, posting there has been fantastic to me. I posted in 12 hours, had like 30 responses. And I had to cut it off. Like I basically cut off so that was filled. I had a queue of like 30 plus people. And I just worked through them. And the nice part is, one, I can look at their profile, right, to see if they're local, just kind of get a feel for the person, make sure they look legit, all that sort of stuff. Get a feel for what they're interested in and why they're interested, because a lot of them would. I basically said, tell me why you'd be a good fit. And so I had a lot of actual photographers here in Charlotte reach out. And what I'm finding is a lot of photographers, especially growing their business early on, they have a lot of gigs sparingly, but they're looking for a lot of work to fill in the middle. And so this ends up actually being a really solid, steady, bit for them. So I'm meeting with a photographer today to drop off a test bin. I met with one this last weekend. And it's been a really good way to keep a pipeline of people that are interested in it. I would say finding the VA who can draft solid listings for you consistently is the more challenging part. I just got super lucky that someone reached out on Instagram and wanted to, and really had a great background in both selling platforms. So I got lucky there. The VA part is definitely the more complicated part to figure out, but to me, what I'm finding in general is you have to be willing to bat 30% in finding people. You have to be willing to test someone, and if they're not working, give them constructive feedback to help them get up to speed. And if they're not cutting it, just say, it's not working. And the other thing I've said to everyone is I'm like, try it. If it's not for you, I'd rather you tell me right away. I'm not offended at all. Not offended at all, but then I don't waste my time. They don't waste their time. That's not working too. I've had a couple people who've tried it for a week or two and it hasn't worked out. And, I actually am meeting someone to return a bin of inventory that they didn't list because it just wasn't working out for them. And I think that transparency and being really upfront has helped with the process. I'm definitely not an expert. I mean, I've only been working with contractors now since I think it was early March. But I'm definitely figuring it out. I think for me, the ideal business model I'm looking for is 3 contractors doing photos and loading in Dropbox with 1 VA drafting all 3 of those listings so that they can be roughly anywhere from 200 to 270 items a month for one little pod, as I'm kind of envisioning it, right? Is a 3-to-1 relationship there, 4 people, and just churning through. And that way you have a really good idea of your capacity, and then you can order supply according to capacity. So yeah, I'm gonna, like I said, I need to do some more videos on workflow and how I handle things, and I will try to do that. Mornings, I think, are going to be some time where I get out some more videos from now on. Schedule shifting a little bit, especially with CrossFit. And honestly, that's really been what's been tough for videos for me is we've just been going to CrossFit so steadily now, and it's been really good for both Shannon and I because we get to go do it together. That night times just get tough because I get home from workouts and I just want to collapse on the couch half the time, and just usually work on listings or whatever. So anyways, I need to jump off here and go grab some breakfast. And again, we have a special 4th of July workout at 9. And I got to meet a couple people and then go relax by the pool today. I think I know actually just enjoy being off on the middle of the week. It's real strange. I hope that all of you have a fantastic 4th of July. Tanya, I hope that you're feeling better. I hope that you're continuing to get positive news. Definitely sending prayers your way. You're such a fantastic person. So, and I hope everyone else enjoys their 4th of July, remembers why we celebrate today, and have an awesome day, guys. Really appreciate all the support. See you guys.